My name is Scott, and growing up, my father and I would spend quality time together fixing old cars. He taught me so much about how cars work and how to fix them. We would go and find broken down cars all over the place and bring them back to life. As I grew up, we would sell some of them and make a bit of money, but there were a few that neither my dad nor I would part with. Years later, my father and I opened an auto shop that specialized in restoring old cars and made a lot of money. One day I met Gail, and we hit it off so well. She was so pretty, and she loved the cars that I would drive. It wasn't that she was impressed because of their value, though, but rather that she loved driving fast, and that she admired how my father and I could take a rust bucket and turn it into a shining and fully repaired car. I knew that Gail was the right woman for me, and eventually we got engaged, and not long after that we were married. We were so incredibly happy together, and I got along with her family. That is, all except her brother. Bobby was he was a bit crazy. He had a nasty habit of getting into trouble, all because he never really thought out what he was doing. All he ever cared about was having fun, and he didn't care if it was at someone else's expense. Gail's parents had tried on so many occasions to get him to fly right, but he just wouldn't listen to anyone. As the years went by, Gail and I began to make plans to move out to the country, where we could find a place that had enough land for both of our hobbies. Gail wanted a small stable where she could train horses, and I wanted a large enough garage where I could work on a few different cars at the same time while still having enough room for all of my tools. We found the perfect place and bought it and got settled in. Not long afterwards, though, Bobby started coming over and bothering us. He saw that we had a great deal of land, and he just assumed that it meant that he could come over and use it as well. "Hey guys, can I come over and go dirt biking on your property?" "No, Bobby. We have nowhere for you to go dirt biking. There aren't any trails in the woods behind our home." "Well, what about the yard next to the stable? I could ride there."
No way. That's where I train my horses. The last thing I need is for you to tear up that yard and then have one of my horses step in a hole and break its leg.
Oh, you two are just being overly dramatic. Every few months he would bring it up again, though. Eventually, he stopped asking. But one day his car was having issues, and since he was still family, I offered for him to bring his car over, and I would have a look at it. I didn't really want to, but I knew it was the right thing to do. So when he showed up, I took him out to the garage and hoisted his car up and began to work on it. While I worked, he looked around at the other cars in the garage, and especially at my favorite one, my 1969 Dodge Charger. My father and I had found it buried in someone's barn, and it was barely more than a pile of rust. Together, we restored it, and my father thought long and hard about it and gave it to me as my first car. I babied it and had always taken great care of it. Even when I first got it, unlike most boys my age, I never drove recklessly with it. Bobby noticed it almost right away and jumped inside of it. "Wow, this is a great car. Can I take it for a spin while you work on mine?" "Sorry, Bobby, but I'm the only person other than your sister or my father that I allow to drive that car. That car is my baby, and I don't trust anyone else to drive it." "You guys seriously need to relax more. It's just a car. You really need to lighten up." I knew that he wouldn't understand, so I just dropped it and got to work fixing his car. It only took a few hours, and once it was finished, he drove off. I, of course, didn't charge him any money since I had the parts on hand, and he was family. A week went by, and we didn't hear from him until one morning I went out to the garage to work on my latest project and was petrified when I saw that my charger was gone. I quickly checked the house where I kept the spare set of keys for it and saw that they were gone as well. Thinking that maybe Gail had taken it for a spin, I quickly called her. "Hey, honey, are you out driving the Charger by any chance?"
Nope. I took my Jeep out to run some errands. Why?
Because the Charger is gone and the keys we keep in the house for it are gone too.
Oh, that sneaky jerk. Bobby stopped by earlier today before I left and asked to use the bathroom. I didn't keep an eye on him, and he must have grabbed the keys while he was in the house. I'm so sorry, Scott, but you know what we must do, right?
Yeah, we need to call the police. But first, let me call Bobby and see if I can't reason with him to bring the car back first.
Okay, but I doubt that you will be able to. Calling the police might be your only option.
I suspected that she was right, but I wanted to at least resolve this without having to call the authorities first. After all, I didn't want Bobby to have a criminal record, if it could be avoided. And so I called him up. "Damn it, Bobby, where are you and where is my car?" Relax. I'll bring it back later. No, you'll bring it back right now. What on earth made you think that you could just take my car anyways? Nope. I'm going to take it for a spin. Don't worry, I will take good care of it. I honestly don't know why you were being so selfish and not letting me drive it. But that's okay. You and Gail will learn that when I want something that I always get what I want. He hung up on me. I was so angry that I couldn't see straight. Reluctantly, I called up the police and reported the car stolen and told them exactly who had stolen it. I had no way of knowing where he was though, or else I would have told them that as well. Hours passed and I didn't hear from either the police or my brother-in-law. After a bit, my wife came home and the two of us waited and waited to hear something when suddenly Bobby came running up our driveway and ran straight into our house. He was soaking wet and looked like he ran a great distance. Bobby, where have you been and where's my car? It's in a river. A river? Why is it in a river? Well, I ran a stop sign and nearly hit another car and a cop saw me and started chasing me. It was the scariest thing I ever did. I think I must have clipped over a dozen cars. At one point, the side view mirrors got smashed off when I oversteered into another car. After about 30 minutes of being chased, I went a bit too fast on a bridge and smashed through the guardrail and into the river. But luckily I managed to get out of the car. As it was sinking, you should be happy I'm alive. Bobby was actually laughing as he told us about his high-speed chase when police cars pulled up to our house with their lights and sirens on. Damn it, they found me. Listen, you need to tell them that someone else stole your car. I mean, you're not going to turn in family, are you? The police began pounding on the door and Gail rushed over and let them in. They instantly rushed over to Bobby and threw him in handcuffs. Come on, guys. Tell them that I've been here the whole time. They'll believe you if you tell them that.
No, Bobby. There's no way we're going to help you out. Officers, take that piece of trash out of my house, please.
As it turned out, the police spotted Bobby and started chasing him. He sped away and caused dozens of car accidents as he fled the police and had even wrecked 3 cop cars during the chase. The damage that he had caused was well over $1 million. On top of all that, my car couldn't be removed from the river as it was too deep and would cost far too much money to bring it back up. It was gone forever. The police asked if we wanted to press charges, and before I could say anything, Gail announced enthusiastically that we would be. In the weeks that followed, Bobby was in and out of court so much that he basically wore a suit constantly. His lawyers warned him that he was going to go to prison for at least 20 years for the stunt that he pulled. All that time he kept begging us to drop the charges. Please, I'm so sorry. I promise to never do anything like that again. I swear I won't. Please, if you two would just drop the charges, then they'll go leniently on me.
No, Bobby, we won't. In fact, we are going to sue you.
That's right, Bobby. We're going to sue you for destroying the one thing that I loved in this world almost as much as Gail. My father and I built that car together, and it had more value than you can imagine. The look on his face showed how shocked he was, but he was even more shocked when the judge that heard our case and agreed with us and forced Bobby to liquidate his assets, so that not only could he pay us for the damages he had caused, but also for the $1 million worth of damage he caused to dozens of other people as well. Thankfully, we were given the money that we had requested first. From the sale of his house, we received $100,000. With that much cash, I would be able to replace my car, although it would never be the same. At least that's what I thought, until I managed to find a charger that looked like it was about to turn to dust in front of my eyes. My wife and father helped me get it home, and the 3 of us worked on it for months, restoring it and fixing it up. And by the time that it was finished, I loved it even more than my first one. After all, not only did I get to rebuild it with my father, but my wife helped as well, making it even more special than my last one. As for Bobby, well, he lost his case and was sentenced to prison for 20 years for the thrill ride that he took, and I know for a fact that he isn't looking forward to getting out. Even when he is a free man, he'll spend the rest of his life in poverty as he tries to repay the people that he hurt, as well as the police force. It's going to take him the rest of his life to pay back that $1 million. Thanks for watching. Like the video, so it can be recommended to others to watch.